certain, and I did the.
Good evening. My name is Brandon Monk, and I serve as the chair of the Frederick County School Board, and it's shortly after 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 16th, and I'll call this meeting to order. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, next item on our agenda, or next item before us is the approval of an agenda. I now received communication about a potential amendment to that agenda. Do we have any amendments to the agenda before us?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to put under new business maybe item E. Let's call it the item for Valley Region VSBA Chair, please.
Thank you. We've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion to amend the agenda to add item E, Valley Region Chair. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we have that amended agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and properly seconded to approve the agenda as amended. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, all opposed? We have an agenda.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I move that the County School Board of Frederick County, Virginia enter a closed session meeting for the following: to consider and discuss the proposals and information from offerers concerning superintendent search services, as well as to discuss the negotiation and possible award of a contract for such services and related considerations, where discussion in open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the school board pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2 3711A29, and to review and discuss individual personnel matters including appointments, resignations, substitutes, and volunteers pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2 3711A1, and to review and discuss individual student matters that would involve specific students and particular information concerned in their scholastic records, including requests for release from compulsory attendance for religious reasons pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2 3711A2, and I do so move.
All right, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and properly seconded to move into closed sessions for the reason that Mr. Comstock mentioned. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're in closed session.
Sorry. Mr. Chairman, I move that the board reconvene from closed session.
Second.
All right, motion been made and properly seconded that the board reconvene from closed session. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of doing so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are reconvened.
Mr. Chairman, I move that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were discussed in the closed session, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board.
All right.
Second.
I believe this calls for a roll call.
Mr. Lake,
Yes.
Mrs. White,
Yes.
Mr. Adkins.
Yes.
Mr. Comstock.
Yes.
Mr. Hester,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Monk.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we have three motions coming out of closed session. I move to authorize the chair to proceed with negotiations about a possible contract with the offerers reviewed in closed session and in the order recommended by the chair, and further authorize the chair, subject to any additional information about the offerer and satisfactory negotiations, to finalize and execute on behalf of the board a contract in consultation with legal counsel.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we've heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Edwards, do we need a roll call? Just the fact that might be
Not to my
financially
knowledge. but
obligated?
I mean, it's noted that it's unanimous unless I miss something, so.
Perfect.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the personnel actions as recommended by the interim superintendent.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we've heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the release of students A, B, C, D, E, F, G, HIJKLMNOP QRSTUV and W from compulsory attendance for religious reasons.
We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, former kindergarten teacher there. You voted well. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of students A through W signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all.
All right, thank you. Please join me in a salute to our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a consent agenda before us. Any questions about the consent agenda? We have a motion to approve.
Motion so made.
All right, do we need have a second?
Second.
And any discussion? All those in favor of approval of the consent agenda as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes. Moves us to the next portion of our meeting, which is citizen comments. The Frederick County School Board is pleased to receive public comments at each monthly meeting. In order to allow the board sufficient time for its other business, the total time allowed for public comment will generally be limited to 20 minutes. Individuals speaking to the board will be allotted 3 minutes. Those individuals representing groups or organizations will be allotted 5 minutes with one representative per group. Upon recognition by the chair, the speaker should clearly state his or her name, residing district, and the subject matter of their comments. All comments are to be addressed to the chair. The board will receive the comments but will not respond to questions or engage in a dialogue. This is an opportunity to be heard, and the board will refer any issues or concerns to staff or appropriate committees. The school board is committed to showing appropriate respect and courtesy to all citizens, and speakers are expected to show the appropriate respect and courtesy to the board in return. Members of the audience are not permitted to interrupt the speaker or meeting by asking questions or making comments. School board meetings are tape recorded for the purpose of clarification and development of the official minutes. Wonderful. Our first speaker this evening is Christy Scarborough. You state your name, district, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Thank you.
Hello, board members. My name is Christy Scarborough, and I'm in the Stonewall District. When I got here, I know this is the second time that the bathrooms have been opened, and I don't know who was in charge of opening the bathrooms. Thank you, Ms. Camry. I saw her earlier, and I asked her to open the doors because they were locked. Your gate was, whatever the gate is for, to keep Hester safe, whatever it is, it was open. So maybe the next school board meeting, somebody make sure that the doors here are unlocked and the bathrooms are accessible. Lamanna. You know, I had the courtesy of getting a phone call from Dr. Martin, who was here before you, who wanted to meet with me. I was curious if you had any intentions of reaching out to parents yourself. I get the funny feeling that you won't be reaching out to me, and that's okay. But I do want to bring up that I want to thank Adkins, Monk, and Martin for not voting for you. I want to remind this community that there was an article in the Winchester Star in 2018, and it talked about a task force that was created in 2017. You were in that task force. And it says in here, in the Winchester Star article, that the task force will begin a deep equity program. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about critical race theory and deep equity or whatever kind of play on words you want to call it. Didn't exist here, but that was an article published by the Winchester Star, and I don't believe you suing for defamation. So that's not okay with me. That deep equity stuff's got to go. I know that when you campaigned against Miss Martin, you said that never happened. So are you saying the Winchester Star lied? I mean, I am glad that you're only interim because I don't think that you are fit for this position. And I really wish that Martin was back. But that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Alan Schaefer.
Alan Schaefer, Shawnee District. I just want to take an opportunity with the new school year. I really hope that we can move forward from what happened last year. I want to see transparency in the budget. I want to see a line item budget. I work in construction. I do projects that are regularly over $80 million. I have never been able to do a project without seeing what every 2x4, what every bag of concrete costs. How you can run a school district for $217 million without having a line item budget is unfathomable to me, to not know exactly where the money's going. And especially when I do government contracts, we have to certify payroll. If we cheat on that certified payroll, if we cheat on that budget, we will never have another contract here with the government ever again. I expect no less from the government, who is here representing the people, to be as forthcoming as we have to be with the government. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jesse Jenkins.
Mr. Atkins, 3 days ago, you posted on your school board Facebook page a program for autistic children that takes place no closer than 4 hours from here. When community members started asking you if you posted to the right page, meaning that you had just before posted asking the boys if they wanted to go to a casino night on the same page, you decided to come back with comments that ended with, "I guess looking out for our autistic community is not important to some. Sad." The people you were making that comment to included a parent of an autistic child and some community members who spent 5 months straight helping advocate for our children. I commented to you more than once expecting some sort of reply, even if it was your usual online aggression, but got nothing. So I'm here tonight to be sure I am heard. You sit on the Frederick County School Board. If you want to show the autistic community you care, I suggest you take the time to schedule that NREP tour that you and Miss Martin never bothered with. What have you done to help our local autistic or any other special needs children that attend the school system that you sit on the board for? You do not live our lives day in and day out. Surfing programs are fun if the family is able to pull off such an adventure that is not local, but these are not the therapy resources our kids need to thrive that someone in your seat can help advocate for. They need proper special education services, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, all resources that are given in Frederick County schools but need advocacy for more funding. This is a photo of a spot that my son left on my face during a meltdown. This was a meltdown to his lack of being able to communicate, which is something that his speech therapy does help with. This was just last week, and while you can't see it now, believe me, I still feel it. So before you claim you are looking out for our autistic community, I would highly suggest you start listening to us and hearing what we need. You sit in those seats for all 14,000 children. If you're not prepared to put in the work it takes to be sure that you are meeting the needs of all of those children, you need to step down.
I think our next speaker is Karen Dredsky.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Dr. Lamanna. I'm Karen Dredsky. I live in the Gainsborough district, and this evening what I wanted to bring up is an issue that I was hoping that Dr. Orndorff was going to be here so that he could hear and help facilitate a solution to, and so that I could welcome him back, because I'm so excited that he's going to be here this year. And welcome to you, Dr. Lamanna, as well. For the students who go to James Wood High School that live on the western end of the county that ride the bus, we have a bit of a problem. It started last year, it was going on, and this year it seems like the first 2 days of school, it's worse than it was last year, and I don't believe that it's strictly because of construction. Students who ride the bus to James Wood High School from the western part of the county have to change buses at Frederick County Middle School. While their buses typically arrive at the middle school prior to 7:30 in the morning, and then they have to get on a transfer bus, they are not allowed to disembark and get on the transfer bus when they arrive at the school. I understand that there is some reason that they're not allowed to disembark until after 7:30, even though parents are dropping students off at Frederick County Middle School prior to 7:30, and their kids are allowed to go outside and stand and wait to go inside the school. Last year, this was a problem. It was a crapshoot whether my son was going to arrive at school at first bell or after first bell. It was a common occurrence. It was not once in a while because of traffic or an accident or something. It was happening all the time. For those students that are in that position, it also means they're not entitled to lunch, or I'm sorry, to breakfast. They have to wait until lunch to eat. For any of them who got on the bus early, it's even worse this year because I understand that the bus routes are starting as early as 6:15 in the morning. So if you are a student and you happen to be going to high school and you were the first person on that bus route, you got on at 6:15, and yesterday you didn't arrive to Jameswood until 8:10. Today it was 8:05. So students are getting on the bus earlier, they're arriving later, they're not having time to have breakfast, and for some of them, they don't have lunch until last lunch, so they're going for at least 6 hours without food. And we expect our students to do their best job when they're well-nourished. So I find this to be a real problem. It was last year as well, before the construction started. I would like for our transportation department or whomever needs to do this to do some brainstorming and try to come up with a solution to help our students be able to get to school at a reasonable time where they're still entitled to being able to get lunch, where the dining room isn't closed and they're not late for their classes. Because I think that would be really, really important for our students. And it's not just my kid, it's all the kids that are on the western end of the county that are going through this. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Christy Jett.
Christy Jett from Gainsborough. I don't have any prepared comments or anything like that. I really just wanted to express a deep and heartfelt thank you to any teachers and staff from Gainsborough Elementary that might be listening right now. I have 3 children, 4th and 2 second graders, and they are all smiles going into school. They're all smiles coming home. And it is just a gift I can't explain to be able to send my kids somewhere every day where I know that they are cared for and supported in the same way that I would do at home. And I just needed the teachers and staff at Gainsborough Elementary to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Shaniqua Williams.
Good evening, Interim Superintendent Dr. Lamanna and Chairman Monk and members of the school board. My name is Shaniqua Williams. I'm a resident of the Shawnee District, and I serve as the members of this county as the president of the Frederick County Education Association. Tonight I'm here to welcome everyone again, as you've heard some people say before, to the 2022-23 school year. And from what I hear from our membership, it's been an exciting few days, just 2, but still exciting. I'm looking forward to this being a very productive and promising school year, and I look forward to working with the educators in this county as they strive to do and continue to do the excellent professional jobs that they do for their craft. I want to thank the members of FCA for allowing me to be a leader for them, and I appreciate each and every one of my members and look forward to working with them and their schools to bring light to the value of FCA membership. Thank you to the community members who are here tonight, as well as they consistently show up and make their voices heard. I wanted to give information to the board about what the mission of FCA and our parent organization is, in case you don't know. To unite our members and local communities across the Commonwealth in fulfilling the promise of a high-quality public education that successfully prepares each and every student to realize his or her full potential. We believe that this can be accomplished by advocating for students, education professionals, and support professionals. This statement is what FCA strives to do each and every day. Before I leave you today, I wanted to just introduce you to the FCA Board of Directors. Behind me is Vice President Jennifer Floyd. She's a health and physical education teacher at Northwestern Regional Educational Programs. FCA Treasurer Sharice Woodward. She's a business teacher at Sharanda High School. Secretary Kathleen Balkert, she's a library instructional assistant at Ayler Middle School. And not with us, but you guys have seen her before, is Brandy Wilder. She is one of the regional representatives for the Shenandoah Valley VEA leadership team. It is our longstanding commitment to my members to be one of the 5 of us will be present at each and every meeting, just so we can retain what's being said and be able to have productive conversations going forward. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jody Yegi.
Hi, my name is Jody Yegi from the Redbud District. My middle school daughters, I have 2 of them. Yeah, wish me luck. Came home the last couple of days and have had a really great start to the school year. They're really excited about their classes. Okay, I say that lightly because they are still in middle school, but they are excited, I think, to be back. So the biggest topic of the day, as you might expect, is what they're going to wear the next day. Now, you might think that this is pretty normal for middle school kids, middle school girls especially, to be concerned about what they're going to wear. But the topic at my house and amongst their friends, we do a lot of carpooling for sports, isn't what's the cool new trend to wear or what are you wearing so I should wear it. It's what might I get called out on the next day because of dress code. And I say that because the dress code right now, I don't meet dress code according to Admiral Byrd Middle School. I'm wearing athletic shorts and a t-shirt, and my shorts don't come down below my fingertips. I don't have any shorts in my closet that do, and I think I don't dress in an inappropriate fashion necessarily. And my kids who go to school with athletic shorts on and a t-shirt should not be worried about having a dress code violation. Now, I'm not saying that a teacher is going to call them out, but they spent the first 2 days of school having conversations in their classrooms around dress code. And they are the rule followers, like a lot of middle school children are, and they want to do right, and they don't have, other than wearing pants, none of their shorts in their closet are gonna meet dress code. So I would urge this board to take a look at our dress code and update it to today's standards. We do have to have rules to follow, but we also have to be cognizant of societal norms. And if this mom can wear shorts, I would think that our students could wear shorts that are appropriate, and but the dress code probably needs to be looked at. So dress codes are meant to create safe, positive learning environments, but a lot of times they're having the opposite effect, and I'm seeing it this year. I'd urge the committee to ask for a review committee to update the dress code. Our students should be focused on learning, and our teachers should be able to teach. They shouldn't be in the uncomfortable position of having to police how long or get out their rulers for how long shorts are in the classroom. Clearly, if there's inappropriate violations, they should be addressed. They should be addressed in private, not in front of other students, which is happening. So I would urge the school board to look at a committee and gather lots of students from a lot of different areas, parents and teachers, to look at that policy and get it updated to meet today's norms. I hope we can address this and all students and staff can have a great 2022-2023 school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Brian Nuri.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Nuri from the Apecan District. Just wanted to come up here and congratulate the board and its wisdom for hiring internally and promoting Dr. Lamanna to interim superintendent of schools. I would just love to one day hopefully be able to amend that board to not have the interim on it, because I think that Dr. Lamanna, as well as most of you guys, understand that knowing how the system works from within, which he has been on every level, is very important to leading this county into the future. So just want to congratulate you guys for making the right decision, and Ms. Dr. Lamanna for taking it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak? You could come forward, just state your name, magisterial district, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, please. You're fine.
I didn't sign up. A bit unexpected. Priscilla for Del Bolito, Stonewall District. I just wanted to come forward tonight to say I hope you all had a wonderful summer and made wonderful memories with your kiddos. We did. We did a bunch of different stuff. We considered not coming back to FCPS this year. Admittedly, we had a little bit of a bumpy road last year. And then my Austin started crying because he loves Redbud so much. And I do too. We love FCPS. I'm passionate about my 2 boys, but I'm passionate about your children, Mr. Hester, your children, Miss White, Your children, Mr. Comstock, your grandchildren, Mr. Lake, Dr. Lamanna, welcome aboard. Passionate about your grandchildren. I'm a mom first and foremost. Everything else comes second. Everything. We are very happy to be back at FCPS this year. 2 days in, and Austin is ecstatic both days. He loves his teacher. I can't sing Mr. Strong's praises enough. He is an exemplary principal. I'm looking forward to continuing to be that mom and working collaboratively with everybody in the community that shares a passion for children. At the end of the day, I'm mama, nothing more, nothing less, and I look very forward to working with most of you on this board this upcoming school year. It's Austin's last year in elementary school. We got to make it the best. I have to do that for him, but we've got nearly 14,000 other students in the district too. Let's make it the best for them. But please remember, when you see this face, I'm mom. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, welcome aboard, Dr. Lamanna.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just come forward, state your name, magisterial district, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, please, sir.
Hello, I'm Lucas Cook. I am in the Shawnee District, and I just honestly wanted to say thank you guys for all your hard work this past couple of years. I know we've had a very rough patch, and I would just hope to move forward and be united in our decisions and make for a better county and a better school system. And thank you guys, and you guys have a great evening.
Thank you. I think we had one more. Just come forward, name, magisterial district, and 3 minutes or less, please.
Ariana Turan, Redbud District. I don't have a speech prepared. I just wanted to piggyback off what she said about the dress code. I agree 100%. It's not just happening in middle schools, it's happening in high schools as well. I seriously think the dress code needs to be reevaluated to fit today's standards. At Millbrook High School, the first day of school, as soon as students were walking in the door, they were getting sent to the office dress coded. They weren't even allowed to enjoy their first day. And my daughter in particular got yelled at for wearing ripped jeans. And as you know, ripped jeans are the style nowadays, and was told she was not allowed to wear them, which according to dress code is not accurate. The rips can't be above the thigh, the mid-thigh, but most ripped jeans are in the thigh region or above that, and in no way did she dress inappropriately. Like the other lady had mentioned, pretty much anything in my daughter's closet currently will not meet dress code. And it's not inappropriate clothing. I don't let my child dress inappropriately, but it's just the way it is nowadays. So I feel like, some of the rules and stipulations need to be looked at again, and not so harsh on certain things, so that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our citizen comment. We have approved minutes of prior meetings. That takes us to reports. The report of the interim superintendent of schools, Dr. Lamanna.
Thank you, Chairman Monk. This is my job, you right? Bottom. Yes. There it is. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I just want to share with you a few things. I want to share with you that the 2022-23 school year began for students, as we know, on Monday. Opening day went quite well. I want to thank all of the staff members who worked collaboratively over the summer to prepare for the start of the new school year. Their dedication and hard work is what resulted in us having a smooth opening. As we begin the year, I also want to thank Frederick County Sheriff's Office for the outstanding relationship the school division enjoys with them and the school resource officers that provide to keep our schools safe and secure. And let's recognize our officers here tonight if we can. Thank you. With school back in session, I also want to remind motorists to slow down and pay close attention to their surroundings. This is especially important during those times when students are being transported to and from school. State law requires motorists to stop for a school bus when its lights are flashing unless there is a physical barrier or unpaved area between the lane in which the bus is traveling and the lane in which the vehicle is traveling. Each day, our bus drivers unfortunately witness drivers who fail to stop for buses whose lights are flashing. This is very dangerous, as we know, and we ask everyone to slow down, pay attention, and stop for buses loading and unloading students. I want to congratulate James Wood School students Fletcher Powell and Olivia Judd, who recently finished in 10th place in the Sports and Entertainment Management Competition at the Future Business Leaders of America National Leadership Conference in Chicago. The competition required the students to work collaboratively to complete an exam and then give an impromptu presentation after being given a scenario in the area of sports and entertainment management. More than 12,000 students from 48 states and territories attended the conference. I want to, indeed, I want to announce that the applications are being accepted through 4 p.m. on September 9th for the FCPS 101 Community Engagement Program. FCPS 101 is designed to provide parents and others with an opportunity to learn more about our school division and its operations. Additional information and a link to the online application form is available on the school division's website. I also want to thank First Bank and Virginia Property Group, who have served as the sponsors of FCPS 101 program each year since its inception. Also, I could take a moment of personal privilege, if I may, to thank the board for this opportunity to serve as the interim superintendent. I visited several schools yesterday. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, yesterday and today. And we welcome over, as you know, 13,000 students in our population. It is for them, we must remember, that we're doing the work. As an interim superintendent, I want you to know that I pledge to be positive, to be student-focused, and to do no harm. I ask each of you to do the same, and most importantly, look to yourselves. You can only control your behavior, and by doing that, you will impact others. Be honest, be sincere. Do not embarrass or promote hostility or public incivility or anger. Rather, be the example of civility, cooperation, collaboration, and mutual respect. We owe it to our community. As the school year begins, let's launch as a board a newly refreshed positive culture. And again, thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Lamanna? Wonderful. That moves us to our next item, Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Angelo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Dr. Lamanna, I just want to say quickly, I spent all day yesterday in schools. I think I was in 9 buildings yesterday. This morning I had a block of a 4-hour meeting online. I would much rather have been pretty much anywhere else but that 4-hour meeting. But then I got out in the afternoon and hit 2 more. So I've been to half of our schools. And I have not seen the joy and the excitement and the enthusiasm that I've seen in the last 2 days in quite a long time. And so amazing opening day yesterday. Heard from many principals that it was the best opening day that they've had in their time as principal. And one principal noted to me, a high school principal noted to me, the positivity among students, staff, and parents was very, very visible on day one yesterday. So excellent opening day. Speaking of opening days, want to give the opening day attendance report. I believe the Winchester Star reported on this morning. Just to let you know, our opening day attendance was 13,283, which was a little bit less than the 13,468 from last year. But do keep in mind that our first day of school last year was a week later. The deeper into August and then to Labor Day, the closer you get, the greater the attendance tends to be. And just as an example, we grew by 317 students today. So today's attendance was 317 students, higher than it was yesterday at 13.6. At our September 6th board meeting, we'll have a report on the August 31st attendance, and we would anticipate that it will be higher than the 13,600 students that were there today. So that concludes the attendance report for opening day, unless there are questions.
Any questions for Dr. Angelo? Just hope we don't grow by 300 students every day.
Yeah, we would hope not to grow by 300 students every day.
Thank you.
All right, and then we don't have final results of our SOL testing from the spring, nor do we have accreditation results yet. But we do anticipate that those will be released shortly, at least not the accreditation results, but SOL performance. So I just wanted to give you a general overview of where we believe we will be based on our analysis, and share with you, based on a question that came up, I think, in an instruction committee meeting in June, asking for a report on the ESSER funds and what we did with the ESSER funds with students last school year and then over the summer. And then I'll give you a preview as to what I believe will be planned in schools this year. So the timeline we have for release of information right now, we anticipate that pass rates will be released and finalized later this week. And I say that's anticipated because that has already been bumped back at least one time and maybe twice, because the state, they want to make sure they get that right, obviously. So we anticipate later this week that those will be released statewide, but it's possible that it will be delayed, and we won't know that until we get information from VDOE. And then we also anticipate that accreditation will be released in late September. We don't have a final date yet, but we know that it's late September. Usually it's around between the 25th and the 30th of each year. But I do want to give you an overview preliminarily of what we anticipate. We are anticipating pass rates to be down from pre-pandemic rates, with some exceptions. And I will say, when we're looking at what we believe are they're pretty close to what the final scores will be, I anticipate, based on what we've worked out. Our focus on early literacy, you may remember in January, Catherine Neal, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but she was our supervisor of professional learning, as well as Ashley Rudolph, who's the literacy coach at Indian Hollow, did a presentation for this board on our approach to early literacy. Letters training specifically is one of the things they were talking about. We've had some schools that really, all of our schools are focusing on that and training. All of our administrators at the elementary level have been trained on that, and many of our teachers have been, and they continue to get that training. We're limited to the number that we're allowed to send each year, so we're maxing that out each year. There are two schools in particular I'm going to highlight that have had a very solid focus on early literacy. One of them is Indian Hollow, and the other one is Evendale Elementary School. And again, I don't mean to suggest that none of our other schools have that focus, but these two have made a really concerted effort to focus in on early literacy. We are anticipating that their reading scores will be far above pre-pandemic rates at Indian Hollow and at Evendale. So we're looking at that anecdotally, thinking, okay, so this focus on early literacy, the science of reading, you've probably seen the report from VDOE. We don't disagree with that report. We know that we need a strong focus on reading instruction that is based on science, and we have definitely moved in that direction. Our teachers are implementing this, and they're loving it, and we're seeing results. So we think, based on the preliminary scores, we're going to see that change, and we anticipate that change will continue over time in all of our elementary schools. Science scores at the elementary level appear to be down division-wide. I suspect this is going to be not specific to Frederick County Public Schools. And honestly, the reason for that is pretty simple. We focused pretty heavily on reading and math instruction coming out of the pandemic. And so we just need to get back to focusing in on, I mean, this is a normal year. We're looking at this as a normal year out of where we were and really moving back toward what we've done in the past and even strengthening that based on what we learned through this process. So I'm not too concerned about science scores being down, but we're definitely going to be paying attention to that. And our principals are aware of that, and they know it needs to be an area of focus as well. So I'm going to talk about supports for student learning, and I can't remember even who asked the question, but somebody asked the question about what did we do with the ESSER funding for learning loss during the 21-22 school year. So the timing was impacted a little bit by the award of the funding, so we didn't get that award until well after the school year began, and we had to compile the numbers and divvy it up by schools and then send it out to schools. They recruited teachers and so forth. So there was a bit of a process. Supports, for the most part, didn't start until second semester last year. And there was a mix. They had full autonomy as to how they approached that. And it was based on what the needs of their school community were. Some of them did during school, some of them did before and after school. The before and after school challenge is transportation. As you might imagine, bus driver shortages and so forth. Challenge during the school year is who's going to deliver that. And some of our schools got very creative, and they brought maybe retired teachers on board or parents who have degrees that just aren't teaching. We brought them in, I believe, as subs, if I remember correctly, so that they were considered substitute employees, and brought them in, created vacancies, and paid them using the ESSER funding. All of that was using ESSER funding to provide support to our students during the school day. So there was a little bit of a blend of before and after school, as well as during the day. The types of support that was offered was really based on what the needs of the kids were. So you know that we focus in on tiered systems of support, and we really look at what do all students need to be successful, and then there are some students that need additional supports, and then other students that need even more supports. We really base all of those decisions on data. So there was some individual and small group tutoring and support, either after school or during the school day. And some of them used virtual support. So we contracted with a company called Varsity Tutors. So you may remember this, when students were out on quarantine, we gave them the option of connecting with an online tutor through Varsity Tutors. We again paid for that using ESSER funding last year. And some schools used that as their tutoring for students and saw some really good success actually with that. Some of that happened during the school day, some of it happened, students could access it at home. And that's a live person working directly with the student in real time. So those are the types of supports that were provided, and it just was dependent on the school and the needs of the students and the availability of staff. We had Summer Academy again for elementary and middle school this year. There was it was short term. I mean, it's really 3 weeks in the month of July. Problem-based learning experiences. So this isn't the summer school that you might imagine or anticipate of, what certainly I experienced whenever I didn't personally experience summer school, but I know that summer school was not a very pleasant experience when I was in school. We've definitely shifted that to try to make it more engaging. Students learned concepts while applying Portrait of a Graduate competencies, not losing focus on Inspire 2025. And we didn't just provide support for English, math, reading, and social studies. We certainly provided support in some cases for art, music. We integrated art, music, career and technical education, physical movement, and so forth. So it was just beyond the four core. Trying to enable kids during the summer to have fun while they're learning. And in many cases, they don't even know necessarily that this is an experience that they're actually learning SOL content through the process of having fun. So looking ahead, the good news is The ESSER funding goes for 3 years. We know what we have. We met with principals in June. We provided them their allocation for the upcoming school year, so they had the full summer to work with their teams if they chose to do that on planning for supports through the school year and to be able to start sooner. And we know that many, if not all of our principals have done that and planned for what that'll look like for this upcoming school year. I know that we had principals together and they were listening and hearing from each other as to what other schools did so they could get some ideas. And they'll base what they'll do this upcoming year based on the success data from last year's work. And I know that all of them are making some level of adjustment. So again, individual tutoring sessions seem to be pretty successful through Varsity Tutors. That's, again, an option if folks choose that. We really want them to have engaging and authentic learning experiences. We all know drill and kill is not the way to really support student learning. They may learn it in a moment, but it's not long-lasting. And then again, school day versus after school. If we can get some folks that are willing and interested in doing that during the school day and schools can arrange their schedules, we're very supportive of that. Transportation after school or before school is sometimes a challenge, but if we can make that happen and schools work that out with transportation, we're certainly supportive of that as well. Final piece of information for you, just a reminder that in grades 3 through 8 for reading and math for this upcoming school year, we will have growth assessments in fall, winter, and spring. So students will actually be having 3 what is effectively state-led SOL tests through this school year in grades 3 through 8 in English and math, reading and math specifically. The idea behind that is not accountability, it's diagnostics so that we can get information about students. Last year, and this is mandated by the state, so we don't have an option to do this or not do this, just to be clear. Last year, we had 1 in the fall and 1 in the spring. This year, the 3rd one in the winter is added. And we can look at the data. We haven't had them long enough to know. I mean, we had them only 1 year last year to know the impact of this in terms of how instruction can really be adjusted, and we'll be paying close attention to that. We have our own benchmark assessments, and I can tell you the conversation we had last year when we knew this was coming this upcoming year for three of these diagnostic tests through the year is we want to, and this wasn't an internal conversation that was central office only, we involved school staff in this as well. Do we keep the diagnostics that we have internally and also engage in what's state mandated? And those are conversations that will be ongoing. We'll keep them for this year because we don't know whether the data we're going to get from these diagnostics that are issued by the state will be as useful to move instruction as what we have. So we'll take a look at that and we'll make decisions. We don't want our kids spending their lives testing, frankly, so we're very cognizant of that. So that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer questions that you might have.
Questions for Dr. Angelo? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, there's no unfinished business, moves us to new business. Item 12A, authorized signatures on state reports. Dr. Lamanna.
This is me.
I think so, yep.
This is the proposal. I think what you have in your packet is...
So I think, if I recall correctly, this is a update on signatures for state reports to include...
Dr. Angelo.
Yep.
Yes, that's what it is.
Dr. Orndorff.
Or Dr. Orndorff as Assistant Superintendent
Dr.
of
Angelo.
Operation Interim.
Yeah, is it?
That's the next item.
Wonderful. So this is, for the board's reference, authorized signatures on state reports. As you all are aware, we've included Dr. Orndorff. He's come back on an interim basis for us, so this would allow him in that capacity to sign state reports for us.
So it's the authorization of signature, correct? I'm sorry for the delay.
No problem. Questions about that? Perfect. So we'll need a motion to authorize Dr. Orndorff to sign state reports.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion, and there is a second. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of doing so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. The next one I think we were getting to was the appointment of the deputy physical agent. Right now, Mrs. Camry is the physical agent, and the motion proposed by staff would be to have Dr. Angelo as the deputy physical agent to be able to sign checks in the absence of Mrs. Camry, which I think, from my understanding, is pretty infrequent. I think you're working quite a bit. So, and
Mr. Chairman, move to appoint Dr. Angelo as the deputy fiscal agent.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of doing so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Before us, we had a schedule of school board meetings for the 2023 calendar year. Hopefully folks had an opportunity to view that. I will share kind of my longstanding request is that we get into October. I typically attend the National FA Convention and Expo, which typically coincides with that fall retreat. So my request as we move into 2023 to adjust. But other than that, it looked good to me. If other folks had any other questions or recommendations for the 2023 calendar.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the schedule of school board meetings for the 2023 calendar, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That moves us to actually jump down to item E, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll take that, Mr. Chairman. This is something we added to the agenda tonight at the beginning of our meeting. Let's see where I start this. There's 132 school divisions in Virginia, and they're broken down into 9 regions. I have the list here. Central, Tidewater, Valley, Blue Ridge, and so on. Frederick County belongs into the Valley region. We're in that region with 16 other school divisions. Literally, if you got on Route 81 at the West Virginia line and drove 100 miles to Stanton, as you would go down the interstate and touch right and left with different counties and jurisdictions like Harrisonburg City, that's the Valley region. And all those school divisions. The Valley region is organized with a chair and a deputy chair. We have meetings, we have a legislative position that we present in Richmond and Charlottesville. We have things that we do at the annual conference in Williamsburg. I say we here. I've been involved in the Valley region for my 11 years on the board. I started going to all the meetings down at the Williamsburg conference every year. And it was just of interest. What's their problems? What our problems? You have the same things we do. Yeah, what's a new idea? How did you approach something? Things like that. Just hearing different points of view. So anyway, about 2 years ago, I was approached by the executive director of VSBA and asked about, maybe taking a little bit different role with Valley. And so 2 years ago, I was appointed as the vice chair of the Valley region. Wasn't really a big deal. I didn't come back and make some big announcement about it. It was just something I did, and I attended all the functions and all the meetings. A function would be, do you recall? Let's see, the first week of May, there was an announcement about the art contest and all the students that have had art entries. Well, that was the Valley Art Contest, and I helped organize that. And and we do other different things too that have to do with business, and we go around to all the different school divisions and have guest speakers and things like that. Anyway, so that was 2 years ago. And so the nominating committee, which works with VSBA, has contacted me recently and asked me if I would be like to be considered for the chair. And so what that involves is, for the board's interest, is that y'all remember when we did our elections and we had to go around and get signatures, and it was remember what you told people? You said this just means I'm getting on the ballot. It doesn't mean you're going to vote. Doesn't mean you're going to vote for me and any of that stuff. That is exactly what this is. And so I have my nice form here, my VSBA form, and with the board's approval tonight, I can turn in this form to VSBA. and then my name will be considered to be chair of the Valley Region. And that announcement will be made in Williamsburg in November. So don't know how it'll go, but with the board's approval, I can turn in this piece of paper. We'll see how it goes, la-da-da-da, you got it. So that's what I'm asking tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. It sounds like Mr. Lake wants to invest some time, and so do we have a motion to?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Comstock.
I want to thank Mr. Lake's willingness to always be involved in VSBA and in these extra things and bring them back to us. You do a good job of representing us. You represent us well, and I appreciate your willingness to serve in that way. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. I will add one more thing. The Valley actions come back to us through VSBA things like the delegate assembly. If the Valley region was to take action on some policy, we would only see it through the delegate assembly. If we were to vote on something legislative, it would be through VSBA that we would be notified. So just to let you know, while I've been deputy chair, I haven't come back here with a Valley report. It's because the process feeds it to us through VSBA. So that's how that works. So, just a trust thing there that it's all on the up and up. But thank you. Thank you for that.
Would concur with Mr. Comstock's comments, and if there's no further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of allowing Mr. Lake to proceed his candidacy of Valley Chair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes. Brings us back up to 12D, which is board member comments. Are there any?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Lake.
I'll continue talking. So there's been a lot going on, not with necessarily board stuff. The Education Foundation had a fundraiser on August 5th with a golf event out at Winchester Country Club, and Mr. Hester and I were involved in that event. Last Friday, Timber Ridge School had their fundraiser golf event, and I participated in that. Don't forget that it's the fall sports season has 5 sports. Girls and boys cross country, football. We have the girls volleyball and golf. And so the sports season is going to ramp up. In fact, there is 2 scrimmages this week. I know one is Thursday for the district, Skyline. Jameswood High School has a football scrimmage Friday night. And then I think the season starts, the 27th or 20th, whatever the last Friday is in August. Anyway, so a lot of activity, a lot of starting. Jameswood High School is going to have an interesting parking thing going on, but I'm going to tell you, they've got it figured out. We went out for a tour, and I think it will go well up there. But a lot of good stuff starting. I was at 2 schools yesterday morning, Gainsborough Elementary and Frederick County Middle School, and what was said about the exciting faces was it was right on. I mean, these kids they just could not wait. It was awesome. And the drop off with the parents, and the parents coming out and taking the picture of the kids' first day of kindergarten in elementary school. You can't beat that stuff. You can't beat that stuff. I don't know what it doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter what goes on in this boardroom, but I want to tell you what goes on those sidewalks on the opening day of school every year. That's what matters right there. So anyway, good school year ahead. I can't wait.
Thank you, Mr. Lake, and maybe we should have a meeting or two on the sidewalks. Mr. Hester.
Yes, Mr. Monk. I've got a couple things to say. I'm excited for a new school year. First day of school for me is a little bit different. I wish I could be out at schools greeting kids, but I have 3 kids of my own, and this year 3 girls at 3 different schools, so it sort of made it difficult with the timing. But talking from a personal experience, I have 2 daughters that are very excited about being back at school, and I've got 1 daughter that's still dragging a little bit, but they are coming back all smiles and everything. Very excited about being back at school. And I'm looking forward to, it's hard to say I have a high schooler now, but I do, at James Wood. And so even though I am, supportive of all students, you might see me a little bit more with James Wood stuff. But anyways, Mr. Lake, I do appreciate everything that you do in and outside. You did forget to mention one thing about the Frederick County Education Golf Tournament. And
We're not talking about that.
And that's about who won, and that's myself and my team. So, you missed that one little tidbit. So if you ever want to come over and look at the trophy, the little trophy they gave us, you're more than welcome to. There were a couple constituents tonight that did talk about the dress code. I'm not saying that, we need to put anything together. I do think that is something we could review. My daughters have been dress coded, and they walk out the door. I see them every morning. And times change, things change. Our school system's always evolving, and I think that it has been a hot topic across the board. And I can tell you one thing, that it does change, especially my middle daughter, whenever she's been talked to about something, which I've approved because it's gone out the door. It changes the dynamics of her day. And so it's just something to look at, and for further discussion. I do agree with those constituents that spoke tonight. I would advocate for the FCPS 101 program. I'm the one board member up here that's been through that program, and I wouldn't be here in this seat if it wasn't for the FCPS 101 program. So anybody who would like to gain more knowledge about the school system and some of the things that go on behind the scenes that, most people don't know about. It's very educational and highly worthwhile. I do want to thank Dr. Orndorff for stepping into the interim superintendent position. I can't think of a better person to be in that seat. So thank you, Dr. Orndorff. Dr. Angelo, I do want to thank you for stepping up. It's been a little crazy summer, and you had some added roles there for a while, and I do want to personally thank you for everything. And Dr. Lamanna, I can't say enough about you. I've got the utmost respect for you. Am very happy that you are leading this school system while we are going through the search. And the amount of phone calls and emails that I've gotten in support and just of you and what you're doing for us so far is greatly appreciated. So do want to thank you for that. And I do want to say, to all the teachers and staff out there, you guys are doing an awesome job so far. You've spent all summer getting ready for schools. Hopefully you were able to kick your feet up and have a great summer yourself. But let's make this 2022-23 school year the best one yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chester. Ms. White.
Yeah, I wanted to echo Mr. Hester's comments about the dress code. I think this is a problem or a policy we can review and solve. I think historically girls have been have borne the brunt of these dress codes and the unfairness with it, and they take with them anxiety about their bodies, and we all know that their bodies come in different shapes and sizes, and from a medical standpoint there are people that have conditions that make their torsos long, their arms long, and being able to comply with this dress code would almost be impossible. So I wanted to thank people for bringing that up, and Ms. Strutsky for the bus situation. I think you bring up excellent points, and I wanted to thank you for pointing that out. I am so proud of our educators, our administrators, and our staff. My daughter came home 2 days in a row just beaming, and she hopped on the bus, and to be able to say that you made the right choice in sending your kids to the county schools, or it's just amazing. And we're hearing that from people in the crowd here. We're really hearing that from board members, and it's a testament to the dedication and devotion of especially our educators in a time of uncertainty. And I think that I would like to keep up that energy and continue to set the tone on this board for that kind of thing. And just thank you so much for your hard work, Dr. Angelo, and I appreciate you stepping up to serve our community, Dr. Lamanna.
Thank you. Mr. Atkins.
Mr. Monk, I'd like to go ahead and say thank you to our educators out there who have, really kicked off the school year and made it a positive experience. Being that we're 2 days in, Dr. Lamanna, thank you for stepping up to the plate and, being the captain of the ship. You're trying to work yourself out of a job, and I appreciate that you're going through and helping us to find that superintendent for the students and staff out here. Want to go ahead and say the man with the biggest shoulders here in the room, though, is definitely Dr. Angelo, having to step up and wear many, many hats throughout the process. And it's I can't, sing your praises enough for that. To our students, thank you for coming back and having positive attitudes. It's been, I know the first day of school is tough for a lot of the kids out there. There's a lot of anxiety coming back, and, kids going into high school, junior high, and talking about the dress codes and stuff like that. I do think we can look at that and see where we can make improvements. This isn't the 1950s. We understand that, but we do want to keep it respectable in schools as well. So yeah, I do think that is something we can look at and improve upon. I think everything in this process can be continuous improvement. I look toward a great school year. As Mr. Hester said, and Dr. Lamanna also said, FCPS 101. I went to a couple of them last year. It was awesome. Dow J was probably my favorite one, just because I'm mechanical and I like seeing how stuff is built and it's neat. And if you're a computer guy or a gal, you can go in there and check out, the computer science lab, and that's awesome. You can go in there. Automotive painting, they got this virtual reality thing where you're painting a car. I think that's so cool. So yeah, just like Mr. Hester said, there's a lot of stuff to learn and a lot of stuff for parents to go out there and check out. So I would advocate for everybody out here to go ahead and sign up. I'm gonna try to make as many of them as I can as well. But yep, thank you folks for coming out tonight and making your voices heard. We appreciate that. And here's a good 2022-2023 school year. Other board member comments? Ms. Martin.
I'd like to say special thanks to Patty and Dr. Angelo for all the work you're doing right now, because we know that you're under a lot of stress and workload, and we appreciate it. You're welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Comstock, might as well just make it a full party here.
Mr. Chairman, I'll try to keep it brief. I just want to say thank you. I'm going to start with 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember where we were with my daughter, and someone that I ran into, a professional associate, was talking to my daughter and told her to enjoy her last 2 weeks of summer. And she said, "Oh no, I can't wait for school." She was ready for school. And that excitement has continued the past 2 days. And it brings me so much joy to hear the parents and to hear the reports from teachers and administrators of how good and how positive the start to the school year has been. But where I'm getting to with the thank you is that doesn't happen without us having the most amazing people. And we do. We have amazing people at all levels. And every single person in this division is a part of that and impacts that. Whether they're, the bus driver who greets the student, or the custodian who's helping clean up, or the teacher, everyone at all levels impacts our students and this entire community. And so just thank you to all of our people. And thanks to the community members for always being here and always being so involved and being so passionate about taking care of the children of this community, because that is important. That's what we're all here for. That's what we're here for. But that's what this whole community right now, our focus needs to be on, taking care of our kids. And I think we're doing a good job of that. And I look forward to seeing that continue. So thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Comstock. I'll be brief as well. I want to thank you, Dr. Angelo, and the rest of the team. We've had a busy summer, I'd say, and so appreciate the work that you've taken on with the best of attitudes, and so sincerely personally appreciate that, and I know our board is thankful for that as well. I want to update the community on the superintendent search. Although we're focused on the start of school, we've also been focused simultaneously on that process, and so are moving forward as we seek a firm to help us in that search process, and we'll continue to keep the community updated, but I don't want folks to think that we have forgotten about that and are continuously engaged, and I think this board has spent quite a bit of time in that process over the past couple of weeks. So an update there. I will address the dress code a little bit. I think that can echo some comments from folks in the community and understand our board members, but also want to share that I know and I think some other members of the board have chatted about the culture of our school system and accountability for students, and being sure that students are responsible for their actions. And so we have taken that in terms of working with administrators to make sure that policy is followed. And so don't shoot the messenger of the administrator. I think this is something that we can look at, but we've had a lot of teachers that when they are talking about why maybe they've left the profession or maybe why they've left Frederick County Public Schools, discipline has been one of those challenges. And so I think dress code is definitely an area that we can look at, but I know our administrators at the school level have been working diligently in that discipline area to ensure that teachers feel as if they can focus on teaching. And so want to commend the administrators on that discipline focus, and maybe we can redirect a little bit of this dress code experience, but just want to thank them for their work and commitment this year on that discipline aspect, because I think that will help our teachers to really focus on what they do best, and I think will help with some of that retention as well. So just wanted to throw that out there, recognize and appreciate and understand completely those concerns, but also think that we can address the dress code policy, but the discipline issue is something that I'm looking forward to our administrators making sure that they're looking after the best interests of students and teachers alike there. Also want to thank our school board folks who've showed up and for the past couple weeks to a variety of meetings that maybe were unplanned throughout this experience. So thank you for your commitment to our students and to our community as well. I think each of us over the past year has been engaged for students, and we may have difference of opinion of how we ultimately work with students and address them, but ultimately it comes down to we both are working towards the interest of those students. And so thank you, thanks to our team and staff, and excited to begin a new school year. Mr. Vice Chair.
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second? Motion's been made and properly seconded. We adjourn. All in favor of doing so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.